Happy Friday Eve or happy Thursday. What's happening?
Yeah, happy Thursday. What you're tuned in or joined in from Reno, aren't you?
Yeah, we're both in new places. You're at the new Black Box office. I'm at our headquarters in Reno in a conference room. So we're both at different places right now.
Yeah, exciting times. Yeah, episode 26. I'm looking forward to this one. We've got Jessica Dotson and Daystar Transport. Before we get into it, you want to hit on the sponsors real quick?
Yeah. Well, starting off, we're having Jessica on multi-service fuel card. We'll obviously be talking about that a lot today, but they've been around since 1978. Longevity, great rates. Jessica's husband's a truck driver. Has a real understanding of logistics. Just great people, great company. Looking forward to talking to them. Black Box, Will's company. Trio does all of our back end, our marketing. They do all their posts on our socials. Not our personal. Our personals are our own, but on our Two Dog page, all the editing, back end, everything. HG Ships, if you're looking to be an agent, love to talk to you. Sales Dash, Will can touch on this, but Josh is a good friend of mine. Great freight centric CRM. Will, you guys have been using them for a couple months now?
Yeah, about 3 months. Yeah, it's great. So Josh comes with a freight background, so it was built out for freight brokers. So anything that you would want or need is pre-built, which is nice as opposed to if you're using a software like Salesforce where you need to build it out yourself. I actually myself just started. All my people have been on it, but I just started using it about 2 weeks ago, and I'm loving it myself. But yeah, great stuff. If you're in the market for a CRM or just interested in exploring options, reach out to Josh. Tell him that the dog sent you.
Yeah, no, definitely. And our banner sponsor, they're also, I think, a banner sponsor for the BCS Summit coming up, Broker Carrier Summit, brought to you by TAFS, top 10 factoring company, Kansas-based company. I think they're in Kansas City, right?
Yeah, either Kansas City
or Kansas City, but also been around for a while. Really good rates. I mean, factoring isn't really talked about enough, but I mean, it's especially in bad markets. I mean, it's a necessity. I mean, a lot of companies can't wait 30 days to get paid. Don't have the financials to do it, and these guys' communication is just spot on. Reach out to Ryan or Rob if you're looking for a factoring company.
Awesome. Well, let's get into it. Let's bring our guest on the stage. Hey, Jessica, Jamie, how are you?
Hey guys, good. How about you?
It's going well. Weeks flying by. I know we were just talking before the show. You're out driving in Texas, Jamie, right?
Layover Laredo.
I'm down in Layover Laredo at a Continental Forwarding. Yeah, I'm out here on the road getting it done.
Good stuff. And where are you out of again, Jessica? Where are you working from?
Kansas City. We're just neighbors next to Taft's. We're in Overland Park, Kansas, but a suburb of Kansas City.
Oh, very cool. I should have known that, but we have a lot of Kansas companies. It's great, great state. You guys have the Chiefs and good sports teams there too.
Sure do. Yep.
Well, I guess if you want to start, Jessica, kind of tell us about your history. I know your husband's a truck driver. How you got into multi-service. Just kind of tell us a little bit about your background and how you got there.
Yeah, my husband had his dream was to become a truck driver. Since I'd met him, he had been working out of warehouses, forklift driver for a long time. I mean, he'd done that since he was in his teens. So he came home one day, said, "I'm tired of working in the back of the truck. I want to work in the front of the truck." So he went to truck driving school here out of Fort Scott, truck driving school in Kansas. Took him about probably 2-3 months to finish his truck driving school and went into being a company driver for a company out of Blinker, Wisconsin. Student driver turned company driver, did that for about 2 years. Missed him like crazy. We'd been married for a while at that point, had 2 young kids, and then he was just moved on. So it was a transition for us. But when he was out on the road, he made the decision that he wants to own his own trucking company. He didn't want to be a company driver anymore. And I had worked in accounting for quite a while. And in my mind, I immediately, shifted to how can I run the office for him? Because I didn't see a way for him to do both successfully. Wanted to take that stress off of him. And so I thought to myself, well, I went to college for accounting, what kind of school is there for trucking company operations? And I'm like, well, I don't think there is one, and I sure don't know what even to start looking for. So I just deliberately changed my career path and sought out a trucking company that needed, back office help. And I started working for a pretty large trucking company out of Kansas City, and their back office. Started as a billing clerk and worked with their customer relations, their contracts, their receivables. Worked with them quite a bit on their EDI system. They worked with TMW software, so I had the privilege to see rate tables being built, help with building rate tables, and building out loads, turning into invoices, and going paperless. Back in the day where we would collect the trip pack envelopes and process driver paperwork. It was nice to see that operation can't transition. Worked there for about 2-3 years, and was in my mind saying, hey, I got the back office down. I know how to work contracts, know how to work the rates, know how to do driver settlement. What am I missing? And I needed to learn the brokerage side. So I transitioned to a brokerage company here in Kansas City, a great outfit, incredible brokers. Now that I know more about trucking, I now realize actually how good they are, because they, were very true and genuine to their truck drivers that they would broker loads with. But it was really valuable insight, understanding exactly what it took to be a carrier for a broker. So that was beneficial to our personal trucking company, because then I'm like, well, we've got to make sure we have, solid insurance, make sure we've got good, good driving records, making sure that obviously you have a good reputation, you're on time. At that time, we really leaned into Freight Guard, making sure we didn't have any Freight Guard reports. But then also that relationship building was very, very important. It's not, you can't demand, you have to, it's a like a relationship, like your family relationship. You have to treat, people with kindness and understanding, and give each other that respect to over communicate and let them know what's going on. From that role, I was, kind of stuck in that position, and in my mind, like, what else do I need to know? Well, I need to know about factoring. So I sought out, a company that was offering a role with factoring, and that's how I ended up at Multi-Service. Back when they had Multi-Service Factoring Company, I got hired on to be an account manager on that side, which was incredibly insightful as well. Learned all the ins and outs about, schedules, about pay frames, time frames, also, certain carriers and their reputation out there, and how you had to have the right reputation and the right pay terms to actually be able to be acknowledged to a factoring company as well. So learned ins and outs on that. Factoring company got sold. I got an offer to go over on the fuel card side of business. Had no clue what I was doing. So they started me over on the account management side, where I actually knew what I was doing. Relationship with truck drivers was something I was very passionate about, and fortunately had the experience with my driver as a truck driver to have a better understanding of the sense of urgency, and what the need was in regards to a product. And that's where my journey began with the fuel card side of business. And, people always say, it's really nice to work in trucking if you're passionate about it. I'm fortunate enough to where I can make a living in my role, as well as being passionate, because it does directly affect our family.
That's cool to hear. I didn't know that about you, that you have experience really in every realm of transportation. Not a lot of people have that, the experience of working on the broker side, having your husband, being a truck driver and doing all the back end, and then also, working for a carrier and a broker. I mean, you've done it all. It's kind of given you kind of a unique lens to the industry that, a lot of people don't have.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely something that I, was very intentional about. I wanted to know all the things that I could do to help benefit my husband and our trucking company and our family. And so having those relationships, having a true understanding of how the operational tasks were. I'm still learning my way around the trucking company side, the compliance side, the safety side, the filings, the state tax. Every year whenever I file for my husband, he's always leaning over my shoulder. No, you go to that site. Remember last year how you did it? And it's like, no, I don't. I'm still a little clunky at it. But it gives me a whole different respect for owner operators and small trucking companies that are out there, not only running their truck, but running their business, because it is a full-time job to do both, and to really be, honed in and running your business successfully while you're driving a truck. Kudos to you. Huge respect. I mean, that's why I am so passionate about making sure during Truck Driver Appreciation Week, especially, that I take the opportunity to go out, boots on the ground, to these truck stops with our business, to thank truck drivers out there, because you don't know what you don't know. And being the wife of a trucker and understanding his day-to-day hassles and headaches and experiences, it's just a whole different arena that, I think that's what creates the passion in me for the product that we have, the fuel card. My husband carries our fuel card, so not only am I bettering our product for our company, but also personally for my husband. And along the way, I make great friends like Jamie Anderson, and I learn even more than what I already know. My husband, fortunately, after he got done being a company driver, being out on the road all the time, he found a local company, so he's actually home every night now. Jamie's out there weeks at a time away from his family. And that's hard. I did it for 2, 3 years with my husband, and it felt like forever. I can't imagine that's the way that your normal life is. And for him to be managing and running his company while he's driving that truck, dealing with the frustrations, dealing with the locations where you're not treated like a civilian. You're not allowed to use restrooms. They're sitting there. Experience. Give you an example. Feeding off of Layover Laredo. My husband hauls containers out of rail yards here in Kansas City. He pulled his truck in to get the chassis loaded, and there was one guy there. They used to have a machine that would pick up the containers off the chassis. Now they've got a guy on this machine that he manually goes through and takes these containers off of chassis. And my husband calls, like, I'm getting ready to leave. I can't sit here any longer. My clock's winding down. If I sit here any longer, I'm going to lose my load for tomorrow. And I'm like, well, what are they paying you? And he's like, $50 an hour. I was like, $50 an hour? You make way more than that an hour hauling loads. What are they doing? He's like, well, he went and took lunch. And then the lady told me that they had a meeting inside the office that they had to take care of before they come out and get the trucks unloaded. And it just blows my mind at how these businesses are still out here with no respect to what you're costing these owner operators. It's one thing to be a company driver. You have a mega fleet where they can kind of flex and bend a little bit, but 80 to 90% of truckers out there are owner operators, and you are directly impacting their livelihood. And it's like, wow, right? I can go on and on about that side of my world, but coming back to our fuel card side, I know we want to talk about that a little bit. I'm extremely excited about what our fuel card offers. Our company has been out at truck stops today. They were out yesterday. Our CEO's out there as well, handing out gift bags to truck drivers that are stopping through from across the country. So I'm able to meet a whole different arena of truck drivers. I go to Matt's every year, so I meet tons of truck drivers, but really being out there and the surprised look on their faces when we're just out there thanking them and giving them goodies. And, our belief, what we stand on is to never roll alone. And whenever you see these drivers getting, our goodies that say never roll alone on them, it's touching to them because yeah, you're out there with your fellow drivers, you're driving every day on the highways with people, but it can be a lonely world. But with our fuel card, you absolutely never roll alone. Our customer service is available 24/7. 365. We answer within 26 seconds. We are very true to our origin. We were started by a truck driver, and we definitely stand true to where we started our business at.
Jamie, you want to touch on that too? I mean, Jessica brought up a great point about, the cost of, being an owner operator and, kind of what goes into that. And obviously you're out on the road for multiple weeks at a time. You want to kind of maybe give the viewers, kind of a little bit of your background and kind of what goes in the day of running your trucking company, and then maybe some of the benefits. I know you use multi-services fuel card, and maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. Jamie Anderson. I'm 50/50 owners of Daystar Transport. It's a family little business here. Can y'all hear me all right? I'm on my headset.
Yeah, we can
It's a family business, man. We're a quintessential small mom and pop carrier. We own and operate 2 rigs, and both of us own our equipment and operate our equipment and manage our equipment completely. And I can tell you, Jessica, you've done your husband a great service because it's a brutal beatdown out here on the road. Managing the company, dispatching your truck, keeping up with compliance, breakdowns, maintenance, all the things that go along with administering your ELD, making sure you run legal. It's a beatdown, and it's you're married to the job. I mean, there's really not much beyond sitting in this seat, because I sit in this seat sometimes 18 hours a day to get everything done I need to get done. Or the bunk, I'm supposed to be back there 10 hours, but it is a beatdown. So you've done your husband a great service, and you're very knowledgeable. We've spoken many times. We met at the Texas Truck Show. This fuel card, y'all, is terrific. We've always fueled with cash. Mom and pops places, and it was a hassle at times because we would have to run route to route or find a place that would accept mud flap because we use mud flap. And then sometimes it was just a hassle. But through working with multi-service, it's given us more freedom. I mean, literally, we was going to use it as a backup and continue to do business the way we've always done business because it worked. We got the fuel prices down where they was right. It was a hassle in other departments, like being able to accumulate points because we use mom and pops and most of them don't have showers. So we would have to finagle showers and get enough fuel here or there to get a shower, which was a lot more expensive. And also running out of route, you know what I mean? Plain and simple. So when we come to multi-service, we decided to give it a shot. And, that's the only way we fuel anymore. We've been with them a while now. And it's very beneficial. We try to key on the ones in network, and it's nice to be able to go to Petro and TA and get fuel cheaper than what we was paying for it on mud flap at your mom and pops. Plus, you get to accumulate your points and be able to go take a shower and not have to worry about if you need a parking spot. You can use your points for parking. It's very beneficial. It's been very beneficial to our business. We've been with them a while now, and they give us a generous credit limit to start, enough to run our 2 trucks a week. We've never got really close to maxing out on it. But since we've been with them, they've twice they've given us credit line increases. So. And it works well because, if we get in a spot out here, it's like having a safety net because we can use the cards for other things like lumpers, tires. We can use it for a lot of things. And in today's market with the volatility and expensive as maintenance and things are out here, it's nice to have that net to fall back on. The customer service there is incredible. I can tell you this firsthand. I've spoken to them. I've never called them and not gotten a call back instantly. They call me out of the blue and say, "How are you doing? What do you need? How can we help you?" And I'm like, "Well, I talked to Jessica. We're friends." And they're like, "Oh, okay." But just reaching out to you and asking you if you're all right. How can they help? Can they be of service? Are you satisfied? Means a lot. They do speak English, very well spoken, which is something you don't get at a lot of other providers here in the United States nowadays. I hate being on a conversation with somebody and not being able to understand them. But it's always very well spoken, very well communicated. There's so many pluses to it, man. This is a program that they put together that is driver centric. I work with the voice of customer and have for a good while now. Where I've been in meetings with all the CEOs and everybody at the company. They're all awesome people, and they are interested in what makes our job easier out here and what benefits us and what they can add to make their service more beneficial to us. How many big companies that's been in business this long do you have the ability to contact them and interact with them and them listen to what you say and actually go back and act on the things you say? I've been working with them on the application, their mobile app, and anything I told them, hey, I think we should do this, they've moved in that direction and implemented what I said. And it's just you don't get service like that out here anymore. You don't. It's no longer you're the customer, you matter. Now it's well, we don't care what you say, you're going to take it the way we do it, or you're not going to take it at all. So it means a lot. The goodie bags they give out, I'm telling you, are phenomenal. She brought me some swag at the Texas Truck Show, and I use it every day. We're in the hat now. It was awesome. But we had a really good time at the Texas Truck Show, and I look forward to doing more with them. I do go out and advocate for them. I am an advocate for truckers, but I'm also advocating for multi-service because I believe in their product. I'll pass out cards and I'll go in and ask stations, hey, are y'all set up with multi-service? Because if you're not, here's your card. Reach out because I'll use you. I'll be by here and I'll fuel here, especially in my local areas. If they're not set up with multi-service, I want to get them set up with multi-service. There's another great benefit. I run a refrigerated unit. Okay. So every time before I go load, after I unload, I've got to fuel. I've got to fill my reefer up before going to that next shipper or that next shipper. It's required that I go in usually with a fuel tank. Before, it would be a hassle trying to find somewhere that would I could get fuel, or I'd have to pay cash out of pocket for fuel at a high price. Now I haven't had that problem since I've been with multi-service. If I need fuel, I can get fuel. The network is huge. I found one place that didn't take it, and they took it, but their trendar was down. If I pull in somewhere and need to get fuel, and hey, I see it's cheaper somewhere else, I can get enough fuel to get me down the road to that next spot. It's been very beneficial, y'all, and that's just honest. I'm a trucker. This is what I do for a living.
How important is that in this market too? I mean, I noticed you said, at the beginning you were saving a fair amount of money on petro, and I think we all know, and you talk about this, it's a very difficult market for carriers right now with rates and, I'm sure that savings, makes it easier. I mean, with operating costs, so slim. I mean, we were just talking about before the show. I mean, you've been sitting, you said, 7 hours waiting to, get loaded, and some of the issues with the tension. And, it sounds like, the cost savings and the communication you've been able to focus on, not spending, an hour on the phone, and it just helped your business a lot.
Yeah, it really has. Actually, I've been here since about 10:30 last night. If you don't know the truth about it, it's 2:26 p.m. over here. So I've been here 16 hours. Took me 12 hours to load this load up in Mount Pleasant, Texas, to run 526 miles. One thing I can tell you, and this is always in trucking, but right now it's more important than ever. You try to save every penny you can. I mean, if you can save a dime, you save that dime, because especially the way the market is right now, you're going to need that eventually down the road. It's always best to run your business tight, and if you can find savings to go get them savings. Right now, it's terrible, y'all. It's been terrible. 2.5 years ago, I'd always run OTR long haul. When things broke in March of 22 and the market started to come down, I had to go back and look at my business model and remodel. I had to go and find a way that I could be profitable, because on the long haul, I couldn't be profitable. It didn't make no sense to me. I mean, I thought to myself, okay, well, I can continue to beat my head up against the wall and work my tail off and try to run 3,700 miles a week at $2 a mile, or I can go back and do some research and come up with a new model. And that was the only way I could stay in business, plain and simple. If I would have tried to continue to doing what I was doing coming out of COVID, I'd have been gone a long time ago. So I remodeled, studied the markets, which I was already in the markets. I'm always on the load board. I'm always watching rates and lanes, the hot spots, because I run exclusively spot freight. I do have luckily, the years I've been doing this, I've got a network of brokers that I work with, and I've been working with for some years, and we have that personal relationship. It means a lot when you know somebody like that, and they know, okay, well, I can put it on Joe Blow's truck that's got 18 months in the business, and then I got to micromanage this truck and micromanage this company and make sure they're on time, they're doing everything. But at the end of the day, I call them up or they call me, and they're like, I usually don't even get on the load board when I get somewhere. I use my network first, and then I'll recourse back to the load board. But they know when they put it on my truck, when they contact me and I say I got the load, we sign the rate con, they don't have to call me. They don't have to babysit me. They know that I'm going to be on time. I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be and do what I'm supposed to do, and they pay me well for it. I'm fortunate I've kept my rates up where they need to be by remodeling my business to be able to survive this business. There's a lot of carriers that haven't. So that's where we're at, man. I'm hanging on. The Fed's just lowered interest rates because we know the election's coming, and they got to try to make it the impression they're doing something. So hopefully that'll give us a bump in the markets. I don't know. We shall see. Fuel prices have come back down some, of course, because the election's coming. We see it every 4 years. It's nothing unusual, but we also seem to see the boom and bust cycle out here repeatedly. I am an advocate for truckers. I am pro broker. I've got a lot of friends that are brokers, but I feel like we need to work together and come together to correct the boom and bust cycle and make it where we can all make a living, because there's plenty out here for us all to eat.
If you want to touch on that too, Jamie, I think you mentioned you're going to the Broker Carrier Summit. I think you're going to be there as well, Jessica. And you've been posting a lot. Jamie looks like on LinkedIn, connecting with a lot of different brokers, and it seems like you've been having a lot of these, important conversations.
Yeah, Mr. Rob Busey with BWS Logistics actually sponsored me, my company, to go to the Broker Carrier Summit. I'm excited about it, man. I think it's going to be an opportunity to branch out even more and meet more people, and be able to come to the table and work to fix the problems. There's things that we may never agree on as a carrier and a broker, but there's things that we can agree on that we need to work on. We don't need to be bullheaded and say, oh, no, you're just bad, you're bad, or you're this or you're that. That's the stuff we got caught up in on X, and I'm trying to move past that. Try to be professional over here on LinkedIn. I might be a little confrontational at times, but it's because the passion I have for my business. I'm a truck driver, I'm a carrier. This is how I support my family. This is how I provide for my family, and it's tough when it's like it is now. But I'm excited for the Broker Carrier Summit, and meeting everybody, and meeting the gentleman and his company that sponsored me to go, and that's BWS Logistics, Rob Busey. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it much.
As long as we're bringing up brokerages too, Jessica, I know we talk a lot about fuel cards, for carriers and helping them too, but correct me if I'm wrong, because I learned this, recently too, but you guys have fuel cards, for brokers as well, that they can offer to their carriers. Maybe want to touch a little bit on that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We partner with any type of business out there that directly, connects with our owner operators. And our goal is to make sure that we have a multi-service fuel card out there for any owner operator, any trucking company that is willing to give us a try. Because to Jamie's point, we save money. In my opinion, we are the best solution. You need to find a fuel card that's going to listen, right? It's not a one size fits all. Our fuel card is a fuel card that we can accommodate whatever needs you have. I was talking to a guy the other day, has a new authority, doesn't have a lot of business credit, and we have a solution for that as well. We help people build their business credit. We have truckers out there that need the network. They're driving coast to coast. You can't be stuck without acceptability. It's just dangerous for your business. It'll cost you a lot of money. My husband, whenever he first was out there on the road and he was driving for this company, they had a fuel card, not ours, different fuel card. It was 2 a.m. in the morning. He wanted to swing in and get some fuel because he was new to the road, didn't really, was just like, I just need fuel, I'm running low. Pulled into this gas station, this truck stop, and swiped the card, and it didn't work. It didn't work at that location. He was stranded. He lost the next day's load. He lost $2,000. That's, that's a lot of money. And so acceptance is extremely important. A lot of people out here these days, they have a hard time getting funded on a fuel card. And we have successfully been able to allow truck drivers out there that need to get a credit line with us. We have multiple different options for that. So back to your point, yes, we partner with any business type out there. We can partner with brokers so that they can have a fuel card available for drivers to be able to get the savings that they need, to get the acceptability, to get another thing we didn't touch on. We have fraud protection. Last year, 700% increase in fuel card skimming. Our product is not, our product protects. We have fuel card protection on all of our fuel cards to eliminate fuel card skimming. Just take great pride in our network. We have all those locations that are accepted. We, on average, we save a truck driver $5 for every dollar we make in revenue. I mean, and that's huge. That's definitely putting our foot out there to make sure that we're taking care of operational expenses per truck driver. So any business that touches a truck driver, we absolutely want to partner with to make sure that your customers, broker customers, factoring companies, customers are getting those type of savings and acceptability and a fuel card that accommodates their business needs.
You mentioned a couple of key points. I mean, what do people normally look for in a fuel card? I know Jamie brought up your guys' communication and ease to do business with. Obviously, the savings and the funding. What are kind of some key factors that maybe set you guys apart from other fuel companies, or what do people generally look for when they're looking for a fuel card?
Yeah, I'll say it again. You have to find a fuel card that'll listen, and we absolutely listen. We answer our phones in less than 26 seconds. We don't have hold times. We talk to truckers every single day, and one of the biggest complaints is I lost a load because I was stuck on the phone for over 45 minutes waiting to talk to somebody with my fuel card. And we take very seriously how important time is for a truck driver. We have customer intimacy. We listen. We accommodate the driver's needs. We have a fuel card that works for every certain different scenario. We have the discount network to offer savings, a huge discount network with the deepest savings that I can see out there. We have the credit availability. So whenever a truck driver needs the funding to get a credit line, we have that opportunity for them as well. We have a way for trucking companies to build their business credit. We have the network coast to coast of over 8,500 locations. We have a very large discount network inside of that acceptability network that we offer. We have fraud protection. We have the one-time PIN on our fuel cards, and we have this incredible mobile app that I haven't seen yet in the industry. We provide a fuel card app specific to our customer that shows what price they will pay along their route. That is with their discount embedded in it. It takes the guessing work out of it. It takes away so much time in planning. You put in where you start, you put in where you're going, and along that route, you can see exactly what you're going to pay at the pump, and you can choose more strategically on where you need to stop. And it may not just be for the savings. It may be because you need certain amenities. To Jamie's point, you need to have a shower. You need to find a tire shop. You need to find a dog park. You need to find a trucker lounge. We have amenities listed as well as your fuel price you're going to pay along your route, which is, again, a huge game changer when it comes to saving your time. And
Oh, definitely. We didn't ask you about that, Jamie. So does that kind of go into your planning as well, being able to see ahead of time what you're paying at the pump, and that kind of planning aspect, with the fuel card, I'm sure is helpful for you out there.
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, pre-planning is one of the major parts in operating a successful business out here. A carrier, a trucker, a trucker that's not good at pre-planning and thinking ahead is not going to be out here long, or you're going to be stuck in a seat for a mega carrier all your life. So you got to be able to pivot and work on the move and be very good at pre-planning. I run a lot of tech. I'm not a techie person as far as some of it, but as far as tech and applications, I run a lot of them. And when I pre-plan, I open my fuel app every time and see where it's fueling. I know though that if there's a TA or petrol that's en route, that's where my savings are going to be. I mean, that's where I go. It helps me accumulate my points. And it's the best savings in the network as far as the card, but there's good savings everywhere. Even at the mom and pops. To me, one of the most beneficial parts is the size of the network. I never have a problem finding a spot close to me that I can fuel, and that saves you a lot of money. I mean, if I'm like, I can only fuel at Love's, or I can only fuel at Petrol or TA, or I can only fuel at Flying J Pilot, or so on and so on, then I'm going to have to run out of route. It's going to cost me time, and time is money out here. We all know that. I work on a 70-hour clock in 8 days, so that's what I can work. If I got to run 40 or 50 miles out of route and then 40 miles back in route, that's an hour and a half or 2 hours, plus a 30-minute stopping to fuel and 15 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on how you're going to work it. I always work my fuel stops in where I can take a 30-minute break there, take care of all my business. I mean, I take care of it in the morning. And when I hit the seat, I usually drive 8 hours, and right around 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours, and I'll stop and take my break and finish it up. The way I've been running, which is pretty much regional, about the farthest I've been since the market came down is Atlanta, Georgia. And every time I go over there, I kick myself in the rear and tell myself I won't go back. but it's very beneficial, man. I don't have to run out of route. If I need to stop somewhere en route, I can stop and get enough fuel, because chances are, like I said, I've only found one place that didn't take it, and that's because the Crendar was down. They actually took it. Or maybe two places. Another place we're working to get online that is should be a network. I fed the information to Jessica the other day. And I mean, when I go into these places, that's what I do. If there's a hiccup with a card or something, I get on the phone, I call Jessica or call customer service and ask them, here it is. But the app is incredible, man. It shows you everywhere you can get fuel in the network, but it still works at places it don't even show. But it's really beneficial, man. If I need to get 20 or 30 gallons to get me down the road where the fuel's cheaper, I don't have to run out of route to go do that. It's part of pre-planning. It's good.
You had anything to add, Will? I feel like I've been asking all the questions, so I want to give you a chance to hop
No,
in.
I mean, I've just been tuned in. All this stuff is, I mean, it's exciting, right? Hearing Jessica talk about it and the passion behind it, right? It's like if you're passionate about something, it's easy to get the buy-in, right? And that's contagious. So just listening to Jessica talk about it, and then Jamie talk about the application, it's been no, I've just been tuned in, interested. I think this has been great stuff, very educational.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy working with Jamie. He's, anytime that I can talk to truck drivers out there, small trucking companies out there, truly understand what their need is, and we can solve for that. It's exciting because that's our goal, is to what is a product if the end user isn't using it, right? You need to understand what the need is, what the ask is, and create a product that aligns with that. And it's so, just so exciting to hear customers utilizing what we've produced, and it's benefiting their business, and it's saving them money, and it keeps our truck drivers in business and on the road. Because without them, as everybody's acknowledging most of this week, we could not be, we could not get the products that we have without a truck driver out there.
Yeah, well, what I really admire, I mean, many things about all of this, but you hear lots of companies, essentially all companies will say that they care about their customers or their feedback. It's just, I mean, why wouldn't you, right? But then to hear, the response time, the humans, you guys reaching out, just out of the blue, what can we do for you? That's very refreshing, and it's unifying, right? So I'm all for it. This is great stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. I learned a lot too. I mean, even just the fraud aspect, and fraud is such a big topic for brokers, shippers, carriers. I didn't really have much knowledge at all that fuel card skimming was a big problem. I have a friend who owns a trucking company who's talked about issues with drivers using credit cards and advances and things like that, but I didn't even really realize that was an issue your fuel card helps with too, which I think is something that a lot of trucking owners feel better about out in the road.
Another good point about it is, like, when I log into my account, man, I can see every transaction and where they're at, and it separates them per truck. So when you go into your account, it's easy to understand, easy to follow. I mean, you don't have to sit down and run this down, run that down. And to us, we're family, so we don't have to worry about nobody stealing fuel. But other companies that have company drivers, it's a common thing to have drivers steal fuel, and you got to stay on top of it. I mean, with a fine-tooth comb. I've managed companies before where I've had drivers steal fuel. You see them fuel here, you see them fuel there, and then, okay, well, either something's wrong, terribly wrong with your truck, or you're doing something with the fuel, and had to go back and call the truck stop and get them to pull the video. And this breaks it down so easily, where you can understand it. Everything's right there, nothing's hidden. It's great. The whole process, man. Everything they've done is on point. It really is.
So I gotta ask, it seems like there's a big emphasis on the owner operator or the smaller fleet. Do you guys also market to bigger carriers, or is it more just targeted towards the smaller fleet?
No, we market to every size fleet out there. We are unique in a sense that we're able to offer deep discounts to owner operators, which are typically the drivers and the trucking companies out there that can't get good discounts on their own. And so we are very beneficial to the smaller trucking companies, but our product has been out for many, many years. We have large carriers that use our fuel card too. So 1 to 2,000 trucks, our card works for everybody. But we specialize with those smaller fleets because we're able to offer some pretty significant savings for our owner operators.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So you guys are doing some stuff for Truck Driver Appreciation Week. You guys are out at a few truck stops. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure are. So here locally in Kansas City, yesterday we set up over at the, I say over at the, like you guys know where over at the is, down in Peculiar, Missouri, at the Flying J. We set up down there and we were able to meet and greet many, many drivers. I was only able to attend for a short period of time, but our whole team went out there. We have people from our customer support team, our underwriting team, our engineering team, everybody from our company took time to go out to go down to the Flying J out of Peculiar and hand out gift bags to truck drivers to show our appreciation. It's extremely gratifying to be able to just go out there and give gifts away, and being part of a business and a company that does the same. Whenever you're the wife and your life is trucking and you work for a business that has so much goodness going out to these truck drivers, it's just very fulfilling. So yep, lots of people from our team went out to hand out goodies at the Flying J yesterday, and this morning I went out to the Loves off of 291 out of Kansas City, North Kansas City here, and we set up a tent there. Quickly ran out of giveaways, but we were able to touch and reach many different drivers. I love talking to truck drivers, love letting them know we care, we really appreciate what you do. Surprisingly, it takes them kind of off guard, like, what do you want from me? Nobody gives away anything free anymore. And we had to reassure them, no, we truly value you. We want to thank you and take this time to do so. And this is on us, just showing our gratitude. Tomorrow, we're going to be down at Birch Travel Plaza, close to Wichita, Kansas here. I'm going to go out there for a few hours as well, set up tent and give away some more goodies. So excited to see, drivers that are coming across, state lines and traveling across the country, and knowing that we see you, we appreciate you, and we're thankful for what you do.
Oh, it's great to see you guys. Great to see you guys doing that, and it's a little sad that they came up, thinking that you were going to ask him for something.
It's not sad. It's just the world we live in, right? Everybody thinks that you want something from them. It's hard to accept freebies anymore because you're like, there's something behind this, and it's really cool to see how grateful they are whenever you really are just giving away stuff to say thank you.
Well, before we wrap up, I'd love to give the viewers kind of a good way if someone's looking for a fuel card. If they know someone who's looking for a fuel card, what's the best way to reach out to you or to learn more about multi-service?
The best way you can get someone to reach out from you for multi-service is by going to our website. That's www.multiservicefuelcard.com, and just ask more. And our phone number is on the website as well. It's a great way to connect with us and understand even more about our product on that site. That's www.multiservicefuelcard.com.
We'll link it to the episode as well as a hyperlink so people can click on it.
Fantastic. I have a bad habit of just giving my direct phone number out and saying, call me anytime. But definitely our website is the best tool to go to.
and Jamie, I know it's Truck Driver Appreciation Week. I mean, we do have, a lot of brokers obviously listening. What's kind of a good way to reach out if, brokers, interested in partnering with you, or, if a shipper even is listening and looking to partner you, what's the best way to, reach out to you?
Our email is you can link it in there. I think you already have it. That's my email. I could give my phone number, or you can put it on there. That's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Cell phone, we don't have an office phone. We both work out of our trucks. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm always looking to add new brokers or business to my business. I mean, we're not in a growing economy right now. We all know that. I mean, everybody's downsized and got rid of trucks and laid people off. But eventually, hopefully, we'll be able to grow and expand our business to be able to get more capacity to help more people. I mean, it's what it's about, man. It's about us working together and being able to help one another to be profitable and survive. And maybe when it gets better, I'll be able to get out of this truck a little bit more. But sometimes out here we don't feel too very appreciated, with the stuff we go through. But it is Truck Driver Appreciation Week, right? I guess I'm appreciative to be working. So
Well, we appreciate you guys coming on, and yeah, well, we'll be talking soon, I'm sure. And it was a really fun conversation, and we really enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week as well.
Thank you
Y'all have a
for
good
having us
day.
on. I appreciate it. Drive safe, Jamie. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yep. Y'all have a good one.
Well, that was
And that
fun,
was,
man. I
yeah.
enjoyed it. I don't know much about fuel cards, obviously, so it was cool for me to kind of there's a lot of things I didn't know. So it was fun for me to learn more about it.
Yeah, I learned all kinds of things. And man, just listening to Jessica talk about multi-fuel and their mission, I mean, it's inspiring, right? And great on theme with Truck Driver Appreciation Week, having Jamie on. Yeah, I really enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, well, we'll be back next week. We have some guests lined up for the next couple weeks. It should be fun. I missed the not having the jersey in your background though.
It's kind of there. It just we haven't hung anything up yet, so I think that it'll be making its way to my background eventually.
Sounds like a plan. You got like some what's new there? That graph you have behind you?
No, I mean I've had the whiteboard. The flag's new. It was at my house. We're still getting organized. Everything's here. Everybody finally made it back in office as of yesterday, but we just have things laying around. So we're still, getting comfortable, getting used to it. But yeah, everything's operational for the most part, which is good.
All right, well, have a good one, man. I'll see you next week. I'm sure I'll talk to you later in the day too.
All right, awesome. We'll be back at next week. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And
have a good day, guys.
All right.
Bye.